Welcome to the first part in a series where we go over the creation of this style of map using GIMP. In this first part, we will go over some of the basic things you're going to need to get, and also we are going to create the basic landmask, which will be a key component in reading this map throughout the entire series. So first thing you're going to want to do is, obviously, before we even create a new document, you're going to want to go to this web address, fming or fimg-gmp-plugins.sourceforge.net, and you're going to want to download this fell image noise plugin. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of it. Not get rid of it. We're going to go ahead and download it, and we're going to go ahead and show you how to install that real quick. So our download will be here shortly. Waiting for it to go. And that's right, actually. I think I have no script blocking this. So we use direct link. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and save the file. And we're going to go ahead and open it up. For those who have never actually installed a plugin before, I've actually downloaded this, installed this before. One thing you want to do before installing new plugins is make sure GIMP is actually not open. I'll go ahead and close this. And what we're going to do is going to hit, now we've got the zip file open, I should say. Hit copy, go to the user.gimp.2.8 folder, and go to the plugins, and we're going to go ahead and paste it here. Since I already have installed, you don't really need, I'm not going to bother with that. But that's how you go ahead and install these plugins. So once we got that going, we are going to go ahead and get GIMP started up. And we'll let that order for the new plugins and all that fun stuff. And yay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new image. And first thing we want to do is find our aspect ratio. You want to know what aspect ratio you're going to be working in. So for this one, we're going to do 1024 by 1024. And we're going to go ahead and click here down to advanced options because we want to change this resolution. Mostly this is more important if you're actually going to physically going to be printing this map, because this will count the dots per image. So if you're planning on actually printing this out, you want to go ahead and probably put this up to about 300 for best quality. If you feel like filling in this other stuff in, feel free. And now we got our basic template going. We're going to do some basic setup work. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is we're going to rename this background layer to Land Clouds. As I type very gently to make sure the mic does not pick that up. And I'm going to head over to Filters. I'm going to go to Render, Clouds, Solid Noise. Now, first thing you want to do is pick Randomize, and very important, you actually have detail. Set this up to 15 because we're going to need some very fine detail. Do not have turbulent or tileable on. Tileable, yeah, you really don't at this point. So we're going to go ahead and increase the size of this map. This is where I said the aspect ratio you need to make sure you're aware of. So we need to make sure you set these to the same size. But if you have a different size, like you're doing something like 1920 by 1080, you're probably going to want to set the appropriate sizes. So here we're going to go ahead and set these to about 10, just so we have some nice, fine detail. And go ahead and let that generate some clouds for us. Okay, so now we got some clouds. We'll go ahead and duplicate this layer because we're going to be using this a lot. And we're going to go ahead and add a new layer. I'll make it transparent. And we are going to add it, fill it with a color, and this color is commonly called 50% black, which is 127, 127, 127 RGB, or if you're using HTML notation, 7F, 7F, 7F. And go ahead and fill that over that with that in there. And we want to take this layer and make sure to switch it to lighten only. So now you start to see some of the clouds come through. Next thing we want to do is select our paintbrush tool and make sure this gets set back all the way to black. And I'm going to change the opacity down to about 30. And make sure we have the land clouds copy selected. Give us a little bit more size to our brush. And let's go ahead and select our brush here. 25% hardness should be fine. Now, what you want to do is for the area you want land, you want to make sure the white is selected as the foreground color. For areas you don't want land, you want to make sure black is selected. Let's go ahead and get our basic shape for a landmass. And I'm just going to go create some stuff in there. Now, if you just hold it down, you won't paint over things, but if you let it go, you can start painting over again, so you fill in a bit more area. And then let go. So I want to kind of have some lakes in here, so I'll leave that there. Next thing I want to do is switch over to black and get rid of as much of what I don't want as possible. Again, letting go of the mouse will allow you to paint over again. One thing you absolutely want to try to do is get rid of as much as you can, as far from the edge as possible. If you feel if it's just not, you still want some of those details, go ahead and increase your canvas size and remake this layer as the appropriate canvas size, and fill up edges with 50% gray. Now that we have this basically how I want it to look, oops, don't want that. We want to merge this layer down, and we want to go ahead and select our select by color tool, set the threshold all the way down to 0, and select the gray area, and go ahead and add a new layer. Notice we still have a little bit there. We're going to go ahead and take care of that for this. Add a new layer, make the background, make it a white layer, so we have all that, and go ahead and fill what we do have selected in black. And make sure we fill our selection by hitting Control Shift A, or coming in here and select none. Now we want to go with our pencil tool, and we want to again clear stuff that's away from the edges. The reason for this is when we go ahead and create the shelf for our island, it doesn't get screwed up on the edges. Another thing I generally try to do is I try to clean out some of these smaller pieces that are like 1 or 2 pixels, just because they tend to, when we get everything done, the detail becomes so fine that they generally cause a little more problems than they help adding to them. So I'm just going to go ahead and, but since it's a tutorial, I'm not going to spend too much time. I'm just going to go ahead, get rid of a few of the ones I just kind of glancing see. And go ahead and same thing on your white land mass. If you have any like single dark spots, like right here, go ahead and fill those in with white. You can adjust your brush size either here, typing in the name, or dragging, or typing in the size, I should say, or using the bracket keys to adjust the size. Once you are happy with your mask, at least the way it is, go ahead, oops, don't want to do that. Once you're happy with the way this is, we're going to go ahead and go back to our color threshold tool and select the white area, and we're going to go select, save to channel, and rename this land mask. And that's pretty much all we're going to do for this video, because I want to keep these videos short, so you can break them in if you want to go back and review stuff. I know scrubbing through tutorials on YouTube is not the best format for scrubbing through videos, trying to find exactly where you're trying to look at. So I want to keep these as short as possible, and to help break them down so you don't have to review as much footage. So I will see you in the next video, where we work on actually giving our land some bumpiness. Anyways, have a good day.